Hi guys, it is Debbie Dubois here. I am here for your weekly Twin Flame and Sacred Union Energy Report for Sunday, June 2nd through Saturday, June 8th. So we're going to get started here. I've been sort of charging up my deck with this. This is when I got this in Banff. I absolutely love this. All right, so let's start shuffling, shall we? Um, we're going to first be looking at the coming week, what the coming week is going to look like for you overall. While I'm shuffling, I wanted to let you know, there's two things I wanted to let you know quickly. Number one, I have been asked to facilitate a twin flame workshop with Marla in Niagara Falls. So I'm really excited about that. That's going to happen at the end of September if everything goes according to plan. And I will be sure to get you information on that. The other thing is I wanted to let you know that the deadline is closing in to submit your entry if you would like to win a free reading with me on YouTube. I'm going to do a live reading. I'm going to answer someone's questions, and I'm going to, basically give as much information as I can about any questions that they have and answer any questions that come up during the reading so we can get a really good idea of the situation. And I'm doing this because I want to show how these cards work. And that they're extremely helpful for answering questions, and I use them all the time. And the other thing I'm going to do is when I do this live reading, everyone that has expressed an interest in having a reading is going to get an opportunity. I'm going to pick a winner, and I'm going to give them an Intuit Oracle deck. So if you are interested in this giveaway, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to like this video. You're going to want to share it on social media, like share it somewhere or share it with a friend. Then you're going to want to make sure that you have been subscribed to my channel, because this is for my channel subscribers. And go ahead and comment below that you've done those things to be entered into the drawing. Finally, you're going to want to submit a quick email to me at vibrationsoflove1111@gmail.com so that I can let you know when I am going to be holding the live reading and if you're the chosen winner. So, and it's also how I'm consolidating where everybody is. That's a really important part. I need to be able to quickly go through and find all the names so that I can do a quick drawing. Otherwise, I'm going to go all over the place looking for videos, which will be a little bit hard because I'm basically making sure people know about it on all of my zodiacs that I've just done. I just did all 12 zodiac signs today. Felt really, really called to do them all in one day. Knocked them out, and they were fantastic. There's so much good, solid information. So if you haven't seen any of my readings before, the readings that are zodiac readings are really for the different sun signs, and they're about your love and your life. So I kind of call them a love and life reading for the month. But now we are here to do a love reading. We're going to look very closely at what we need to know for our love relationship. I'm going to go ahead and give the cards a quick cut before I get started. Let's see, is there anything that's on the bottom of the deck that's interesting? Oh my gosh, I cannot tell you how many times the loons have come up for me. The loons are all about deep commitment. So as we're looking at our catalytic heart awakening relationships, our desire for true sacred union, what better word comes up to describe that than deep commitment? The loons. Whoops. All right, deep commitment. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to spread the cards out. I'm just going to just sort of center in here and tune into the energies of the cards. All right. So we're basically wanting to know what the coming week looks like for you. All right. What does it look like? The first card is an anchor. Ooh, the second card is fireworks. The third card is the Heart card. Well, seems somebody is doing really well. Someone is in for feeling pretty good. So this is kind of telling us how you're going to be feeling this week. You're going to be feeling a lot of chemistry and passion with your beloved. Now, whether this is on a fifth dimensional level or a third dimensional level, it does not matter. Those of you who understand this relationship know that you can feel that sense of union, whether or not you're physically in the company of this person or not. But there is, we are talking about like physical kissing, some sex. This might be if you are, in physical proximity, and sometimes not, you can see that you may end up with some real passion in this relationship this coming week. All right, we're talking about the week. I just got done doing a bunch of readings about the month, so I'm going to make sure that I say this is about the coming week. All right, the energies that are here for your love life are very stable. All right, they're solid. They're the anchor. All right, so you're feeling quite secure in this connection. You're feeling quite secure and quite passionate. I mean, that is totally obvious. All right, so that's one of the things that you're feeling. And the other thing is that the Heart card also tells you that you kind of feel this week like you have your heart's desire. Whether or not you are actually in union or not doesn't matter. When we acknowledge at the highest levels the connection that we have, we can feel fulfillment, we can feel love, we can feel romance, we can feel the joy of being in connection with this person in this steady, enduring relationship. Now, if you're in physical union or you're in contact or whatever, it's going to feel pretty stable this week. The relationship should feel somewhat stable. And like I said, I mean, we're sitting here with a stable card aside 2 romance cards, 2 love cards. I'd say that sets a pretty good tone into how you're going to be feeling. All right. So we're starting with that. That's how we're feeling. So let's see if there's any cards that come up for what you're going to be doing. Well, you're going to be focused on your spirituality actively. You're undergoing some more transformation, deepening transformation. And you're going to be seeing some movement. You're getting the green light on something. Yeah. So, again, that kind of goes along with the fireworks, doesn't it? The green light. It means that you're feeling it. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say some of you may start feeling this for other people besides someone that's just, been identified as the one, especially if you haven't been in contact with the person. I want to throw that out there, is that this relationship, though it's true sacred union, it is super connection like twin flames and things like that. A lot of you have been expressing that you've gotten to a place where you're not necessarily locked down and focused in on one situation. So this doesn't have to be that person. It could be another person that is here in your life this week that will provide some of that for you. If not, it's probably on a higher dimensional level. If you're not in union or you're not in close proximity, or if you're not in contact or whatever, you may just be feeling these amazing feelings and actually experiencing some of that. The other things that are happening is, of course, we're still in the process of our transformation. Now, this is Pluto, ruler of the underworld. It is the death card. So, there may be things that are surfacing for you. There may be things that are surfacing for you. And, this is your cross to bear, the destiny is what you're trying to do, is follow your divine guidance. and move into higher levels. So there's a possibility that you are wanting a little bit more power and control of the situation. All right. But the renewal, the renewal and the change that you're going through, the transformation that you're going through. And it does seem like that's happening quickly. We've got the movement card. Okay. Now, you may hear from this person. There's a message here for you. There's a messenger. You may hear from this person if you haven't been in contact. But anyways, this really gives you the green light that there's progress here in your transformation process on this particular subject. So this is what you're doing. You're actually transforming. You're actually moving, through the renewal process into the destiny. And you're doing that through tuning into your divine guidance and, staying within your spirituality. And those are the words that really jump out at me there. All right, so let's talk right now about what is the energy right now, this week, between you and your primary love interest, okay? Primary love interest. Your primary love interest might not be the person that you're with, It's just who is your primary love interest and what is the energy between you right now? Well, there might be a little bit of annoyance. You might be a little bit annoyed with them. Okay? You might be a little annoyed. What is the energy between you and this love interest? Well, and that may mean that you have some immediate reactions. Like you feel reactionary to the situation. All right? Your unconscious mind, you might not be aware of the fact that you're feeling a little short of patience maybe, or that there's something that you're feeling a little bit tangled with. The yarn, I love that. I love that card, it's cute. And so how does your love interest feel about you? No, what's the energy right now between you and your primary love interest? Okay, but we also have the head of the pack. All right, so let's put these cards together. The main card in this 3-card spread, and that's how these cards are read. They're based on the Norman, so we look at pairing the two. I like to read them separately. I would like to combine them in any combination that they see fit, and a lot of times I just start combining cards on the whole table depending upon, what I'm being told by source. So going back to the question, what's the energy right now between you and your primary love interest? It's a very deep flow between you right now, okay? There's definitely, and here we go, the inner and outer worlds. I was mentioning that it doesn't matter if it's 3rd dimensional or 5th dimensional. The moon is the mediator between our inner and outer worlds, okay? So we are literally diving deep, I would say, into our innermost, how shall I say, preferred realities. And sometimes as we're doing that, if our inner reality does not match our outer reality, we can feel a little bit annoyed. We can say, I'm really feeling annoyed about this. You might be feeling just a little bit stuck. It's like, because the internal is not exactly matching the external. But because the fact that this head of the pack card is here, the successful completion is here, all right? The persist, you're persisting. You've got a great desire to win the race, to complete, to be at the head. Go right back to these energies here. These energies are very, very favorable for being in this state of being, right? This state of being. It's almost like this energy wins out in terms of the annoyance. You know what I mean? It's like you might be a little bit annoyed because we've got some, we've got a little bit of the duty involved. There's duty here with the cross. There's a little bit about, kind of doing what you got to do, the things that are necessary, to go along with the conviction of this connection. And of course, you're going through this transformation process. Yeah, you could be really annoyed. You can feel a little bit annoyed. But, you do have this card here, which says success, that you finish first, that you are in a winning situation. So I would say that the energy between you and your primary love interest right now is really solid, except if there's a disconnect between the 3D and the 5D, where you are emotionally. You might find yourself in circumstances where one or both of you, it could be one or both of you, might feel a little bit annoyed at the situation if it's not materializing or manifesting on the outside the way you see it and know it is on the inside. Okay, so how does your love interest feel about you right now? How do they feel about you? How do they feel about you? Uh-oh. Well, right now we got a lighthouse. Let's see what else comes along with the lighthouse. Okay, so we've got geese. Oh no. Mice. All right, well, let's just face it. The person that you are in connection with, and this might be the disconnect between, this is the energy you're trying to stay in and are experiencing with this person on the higher dimensions. Now I'm starting to think this might be the higher dimensions. You're in this place, you're in this stable, loving place where you might even be having connections with this person on, on a physical level, on your own, if you understand what I'm saying. You have that. You're in a really good place. But here's this annoying card. And I want to say that there is just a little bit of energy that needs to be worked out. And this right here is that lighthouse warning that just came up, because while you are on a quest to get to a particular place with this connection, okay, you've been on a quest for a long time. All right. It's like you navigate your whole life really by this connection, or you have. It doesn't mean you always have done that. I mean, you've done it a lot, but it doesn't mean you're doing it completely right now. But this is still about the quest. And now what's happening is you're getting some of this energy in here, which is a little bit about, the mice is a little bit about little things getting to you. Just a little bit. It could be you. Oh, no. I'm sorry. This is about how your love interest feels about you. They may be feeling a little bit of worry and stress around the situation. Okay? They may be feeling a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of stress around the situation. Sorry, I was just kind of going off there on a quest. It's like, how does your love interest feel about you? Well, we do know that you've been on a quest. But when they look at you, it's like you're always there. All right? You never leave them behind. It's like that Semper Fi. You don't leave them behind. You've been really, they can count on the fact that you're there for them. They can count on the fact that you've been on a quest. All right, yeah, sorry. I just kind of, all right. So they do depend on you to be that. But, you're sitting here in this really high vibe energy, right? And they're so used to you being there. They're so used to you being that steady, oh, I know she's thinking about me, oh, or he. And I know that they're there, and I know that they're dreaming about me, and they're happy about me and stuff. But you know what? You're not anymore. I mean, you are. It's like you are, You are, but yours is so much more now about this, the transformation and the spiritual evolution that you're going through. You know, you're following your spiritual destiny. You're making great progress on that. And you're actually feeling it. You are feeling it, whether you're with them or not. I tend to think that these cards are really about, this is how, all right, I'm gonna clarify. This got to be about love interest that you're not, well, I don't want to say that, because I know that some people that are in contact with one another are also getting this energy. So no, it's not about that. But definitely, it's feeling a little bit nervous, feeling a little bit restless. Okay? Feeling the loss. You know, rats and mice, they eat. They eat away at little things. Before you know it, it's all gone. They chew things up. They're stressed. They're anxious. So how do they feel about you right now? It sounds to me like they're used to you being there, dependable and everything else, and now they're a little bit worried. And the lighthouse is saying to you, all right, be aware. Be aware that this person may be feeling this way. Still hold your course, because maybe they need to feel that way, you know? Maybe they need to feel a good dose of, hey, she's not always there for me. If you do communicate with this person, or you're in communications with this person and they're in that state of being, because this really might be just for those of you who are in separation. I have seen, though, cases of where it's for people that are in communication as well. I'm just reconciling that right here with these cards. I think this is you. I think this is where you're at. You may even feel this way about this person, but you're not chasing them. You're not looking them up. You're not looking for them. You're not texting them. You're not communicating with them. You're not calling them. Or maybe you're not doing it as much because you're really wrapped up in your life. You're very focused on the green light you've got from the universe, on everything, on your goals. You're making progress, all right? So, yeah, so that person may be feeling just a little bit anxious. Oh, and you know, it's funny because I was on Facebook and I was in one of the groups and someone was talking about how a guy actually just blocked her. It was a work person who she had really strong feelings for, but they've just been friends, no problem or anything, and he does seem to be jealous. Blocked her. That right there is the sign of what I'm talking about. It's people think that when they're blocked, that it's because the other person doesn't care. It's not necessarily true. Sometimes they don't want to see what you're doing. It gets them uncomfortable because I don't want to say they get jealous, but they might get jealous, or they might just feel left out. They might start doubting themselves, and they just don't want to see it. And I know that that's happened to me before. You know, the green dot on Facebook. Oh gosh, a person's on Facebook. They're not talking to me. You know, that kind of stuff. That is that nervous energy that this guy, this person, this other, I say guy, sorry, you know what I mean, your beloved, that person could be very well feeling that right now. All right, what does your love interest want from you right now? What do they want from you? Now that doesn't mean you're supposed to give it to them, because it sounds to me like they want some reassurance. But let's say, what do they want from you right now? Okay, I got the magnet. Got the beaver. What do they want from you right now? Okay. The first card, this is rabbits. I'm sorry if I didn't show you that. Just kind of playing with these cards here and trying to figure out what this really means here. What does that person then want from you? Well, that's interesting. I'm just sitting here and I'm saying the beaver. Okay, the beaver is about sometimes building blocks, okay? But they're very industrious. So they continue to work at things. They continue to work at things. They do things over and over and over again until they've built what they're looking to build. Very, very determined. And they will work really, really hard to complete whatever it is they've set out to do. So the question is, what does your love interest want from you right now? Let's go into the other cards. This one's stumping me just a little bit. I mean, I'm just being honest here. Well, they are longing. They're longing for connection. They might not want to admit it. They might not admit it. They are longing for connection. They do feel that magnetic feeling, that desire. They might be feeling to themselves that if they just keep to themselves and everything, they'll make things will work out the way they want them to. They'll build up their what do you want to say? Their boundaries enough to not feel those feelings of anxiety and worry. I'll tell you what though, I mean, in a sense, this making dreams real, the beaver creating, and working on something until it's done, until it's created. I don't know if he or she might want you to keep working on things to build it. Maybe that's it. Maybe that they're hoping that you'll continue to do this beaver work, to work on it. You've been working on this stuff all the time. I don't want to say you're doing their work, but in essence, every time you alchemize, right? Every time you shift and change and you clear blocks to your union, they benefit from it. Well, if you're off in this happy, I'm in a reverie, I'm in a loving place, I'm stable, I'm maybe even going out with someone else and having some fun, having some sex, having some hot sex. You may be doing some of these things, which if you are with someone else, well, then we know where this feeling's coming from because they know that energy, they feel it. So they're, the way they feel about themselves starts deteriorating. But maybe, just maybe, the beaver symbolizes the fact that they want you to keep doing the work on the relationship. They want your focus and attention. They want you to be, alchemizing all of the stuff, and because they do benefit from it each and every time. But unfortunately, that's not necessarily a really good thing for you to do for them right now. Now, what they do want from you is they want a new beginning. They want to go back to the beginning. They desire to go back to that place where you, I want to say, we're completely enamored with them, okay, where you would do anything for them. You would be, you would have the connections with them. And they're really, really wanting that from you. But they're wanting you to do some of this work. And you're already done with your work. I want to say you're not completely done. Nobody's ever completely done. But you've done so much work that it's actually brought you to a place where now they've got to sit there and say, uh-oh, now what do I do? Because this person isn't revolving around me anymore. And they might really struggle with that. They might not even realize on a conscious level that they're struggling with that. But I feel pretty strongly that they have some, needs from you to reassure them. Even if they might turn around. This is what I'm saying. Do not give them the reassurances and, you're amazing or whatever. At this point, that's not your job. Your job is to feel amazing and let them align with that energy. Do you see my point? So what does your love interest want from you right now? Well, they really want new beginning. They want what they want. They want the attraction. They want you to do a lot of this work to get there. And, let's talk about what you should focus on to actually benefit your connection, not what they want. We can tell what they want, which is good. It's important. In fact, I'm going to put these cards right over here. I'll put these cards right over here. I'll move my cards away a little bit because these kind of all relate together. All right. So now we're going to take a look at what will benefit you in this relationship, in this connection. What is it that you should focus on, which will provide benefits for everybody? I can already answer that in one thing without even getting any cards. Stay in this energy right here. Okay, stay in this loving energy. Stay in this stable, passionate, exhilarated, celebratory energy, because you are at the head of the pack, okay? You may find this situation a little bit annoying, all right? But you may not feel 100% comfortable. But focus on your transformation. Focus on the fact that you're making huge movements forward. And now let's see what the cards have in addition to that. Okay, we got island. That's interesting. Okay. Butterfly. Let me take this card right here. Balloons. Okay. I guess that's because the loons was on the bottom of the deck, right? I think that's what it was, and I didn't even realize that. Okay, but we've got the loons. Come up a lot today in the readings that I've done for Zodiac. All right. So what should you focus on to benefit your connection? And the answer is like so super obvious. Your evolution of your soul. You know, you're in the process of reinventing yourself. You're in the process of becoming a beautiful butterfly with all kinds of colors and textures and grace. It's a beautiful thing to behold. And that is what you need to be focusing on. You need to focus on your own metamorphosis. Give yourself the time that you need to nurture yourself. And, you know, I can't help but see the words be open. Be open to other experiences, because, you know, you can have this kind of experience. I mean, some of you might not feel, you know, if you're truly in union, you may not have any desire to do something like this. But if you've been out of communication with this person for a very long time, you know, open up. Be open to other possibilities, because if nothing else, it may be an experience that helps enrich your experience while the whole situation evolves. This other person does obviously has some growing to do. They're still not quite in their own power. All right, they're still not quite there. So. And this is just a general, remember, this is a general reading and this is not everybody, okay? But surely there is something here that with all of the things that are here, you know, there's at least some guidance from some direction for your connection and your union. Now, I did get the island card, and this is what you should focus on. Now, I'm not one to say create separation, all right? Like create separation. Put up walls, be separated, put your hand up, talk to the hand. I don't mean it that way, all right? But the energy of the island is, first of all, an island, if you look at it surrounded by water, is beautiful. The energy of being surrounded by water and being in your own power is incredible, all right? So even though no man is an island, in essence, to some degree, we all feel like an island. And in this particular case, as you're going through this metamorphosis, with this connection, your focus should really be on staying in your own power. It's not like you want to be standoffish at all. It's not like you want to create separation. But what you want to do is you want to give the relationship some room to grow, some room to breathe. That is what the deep commitment of the loons is always done for us in these connections. We're so committed, especially if you've got the carrot, at the end of the stick of this relationship. We've learned through deep commitment how to manifest. That's one of the things that we've learned through this whole process, is how to manifest. So right now, as we're going through that, we're actually going through a deepening of the evolution of the soul. And that's where we're supposed to focus our attention. So while this person is maybe not super happy on the 3D level, they'd like you to keep working super hard on the connection while they really might not have to. You need to keep yourself in your own strength, in your own position. Do not just deliver up what they need. And not every beloved that is in the situation is obviously going to have that. There's going to be some people that are slightly different. And the beauty is this, as you look at these cards, you can kind of get a feel for your own interpretations of the cards. That's what I love about these things. Anyone can read them. So there's many different ways to read them. And if something doesn't resonate with you, then, just disregard it. All right. So that's a little bit, you need to focus on you. I mean, boil right down, focus on you, focus on staying in that wonderful space. Keep yourself a little bit separate if you need to, or at least hold the energy of being in your power. So what is your love interest dealing with this week? Is there anything that they're dealing with? I know as much as we're in our own power, a lot of times we still are curious. That person, especially if you're really like one soul beings, and actually we're all one soul, but if you are so closely aligned with this person that you resonate at that energetic frequency, it's the same thing. Whatever that love interest is dealing with this week, you're going to feel it. So you're going to feel it, and or you're going to at least be conscious or aware of it if you're not in connection. If you're in connection, then you probably have better idea of what they really are going through. But let's see, what are they going to deal with this week? Well, it does look like they've got some resources coming, which is really good. The Child. And Forward Movement. Okay, let's look at these cards. So this week, maybe in response to some of the stress or the anxiety or the worry, the fatigue that they're going through, the mice energy, they're seeking that brand new. They're seeking to go back to a carefree place. They're seeking to go back to the innocence of the child. So they're going to be maybe awoken is what I'm getting. Maybe a little bit awoken to, I really want to be at ease again. I really want to get into that state. That is so good because you're sitting here in this power, and if your partner or your beloved or your twin is in a very fatigued state of being, what you want for them, not that it's up to you to do it, but what you want for them is you want them to have new beginnings. You want them to go back to a place where they are like a child and that they're free and open up without all the programming, without all the limitations that the patriarchal masculine can bring. So it always takes a catalyst, and I think those of us who've been on this path a long time know that it took quite a few triggering situations for us to get to a place where we learned how to deal with those triggers, and we learned how to call upon our strength And really what we found is that the strength is when we allow ourselves to live in the moment of now like a child. Well, this is where that beloved needs to get to as well. And this week, whatever may happen may actually help cause that shift to the desire to live in the moment of now like a child and get some beginnings here, get some brand new stuff going on. Then what we have is the resources card. So the good news is for both of you and for him, he's got some resources coming this week. There looks like there's some money coming in. So that is really, really good news because that gives that person some tools and resources to work with in their newfound desire to focus on their growth, on their transformation. Gives them a little bit of, I want to say, well, there's money, but there's resources. It's also, when we think of resources, they get what they need. They get what they need to do what they need to do. And they're on a forward moving track. In other words, the universe is moving them in this direction. And that train is going forward and it's in the right direction. So this is saying that they are on their right track. They are moving forward. In a sense, with the word autopilot, I do believe that a lot of the other partners, the catalytic heart awakening creates, usually someone wakes up first to their own personal path to grow. We talk about spiritual, the spiritual twin and the 3D twin. I don't really necessarily resonate with that, but it does seem that there's one person who's using this catalytic experience right off the bat to shift and grow themselves to match an alignment with what they prefer in a relationship. And you're probably that person because you are listening to this reading. Now, unless you're listening to this reading with that person that you're with, or if this person would read it before you, I would say you're the person that's a little bit more focused on that forward movement. That's why you've gotten to this place. Because you're seeking the answers to your highest knowing, your highest self. There's that spiritual call, spiritual divine guidance. And, you've been making progress. You've been on the move. You're making this transformation. You're dealing with the underworld. You're getting rid of all of those programs. You're in a space that is enviable. All right. Well, this person that you're dealing with may not have done that yet. They might not be awake enough yet to know that they've got to make some shifts and changes. They've got some work to do. And guess what? They're on that track, which is really good news for you. They're on the track. This is going to propel them forward. They are on autopilot. They aren't necessarily, they aren't necessarily even pushing that train along. They're along for the ride, and the ascension process is going to take them forward regardless. So that is really, really good news. All right, let us go to one last thing. We are going to look at what higher self wants us to know about our love connection this week, and what additional information source would you want us to know for the coming week when it comes to our loving connection. The man, oh my gosh, this keeps showing up in all my readings. The man is still dealing with the traditional old energy. This is your love interest. If you're a man, it's probably just your love interest, okay? Could be you. Could be you if you're masculine. But if you're watching this reading, more than likely you've dealt with a lot of this stuff. But the man or your love interest is still dealing with some of this old dogma and old programming. And Source wants you to know that. That's the information that's coming through with all of these cards. Let's see what else we got. Okay, this card's just we got a second one. All right. We got the lily. Then we ended up with the tower. This is Mars. Mars is the ruler of destruction. It's the tower card in the traditional tarot. And a lot of us know what this card means. This was an extra card. Usually I do 3, and this came out as an extra card. I'm just going to set it aside a little bit. I mean, I think that this is pretty apparent. The man, the love interest, is kind of still locked into this traditional programming. You know, the family values, the marriage that they might not leave, or the marriage that, you know, that thinking that relationships are marriage, relationships are family values. They're very programmed in the collective consciousness, okay? So this is the man. But here you are over here, just a little bit more experienced and established, okay? You're a little bit more mature. You've come a long way, baby, all right? What has to happen for you to actually really come into union is the Tower card. In other words, things need to calm down, you know? This person needs to actually make the big shift. They may not have actually gone through this process yet. They're in the midst of it maybe, but they might not have actually gone through it. This right here is because they're not necessarily going through it. And we talked about the beaver, maybe them wanting you to build the dam, you to build the work, you to do the work. That's not how it works. So to the direct degree that the counterparts, to the people that are watching this, the counterparts, to the direct degree that the universe comes in and gives them a tower, is the next degree to where they're going to go from breaking this, you know, traditional, you know, trying to be that guy, the guy that doesn't go follow his heart and follow his own. He does everything out of responsibility and dogma and expectations and everything, programming, traditional. And he definitely needs to dive a little bit deeper, like you are, you know, with the deep commitment, the metamorphosis. Okay, I think before we go, I'll go ahead and pull one card from the Ascended Master deck. It's probably the deck that I've had the longest, and I still like to find out what the Ascended Masters, or those ascended beings, I don't like to call them masters because it's like that's a hierarchical thing. And as we evolve and grow, we realize more and more that there's really not so much a hierarchy as there is just an awareness and a consciousness and the ability to navigate in this realm with a physical existence and to play by the spiritual rules and really to create what we prefer. And what I think of as the masters, they're just beings, and some of us are those masters, that came in and accomplished that in a lifetime. That's what we're doing right now. We are mastering. All right. So Osiris comes in. Interesting, because our whole conversation, this is about father, husband, brother, and son. All right. So this reading really is, Osiris is just kind of coming in to let us know that typically it's the masculine energy, the patriarchal masculine energy that's still in the ringer when it comes to this path. You know, there's the shifts and changes that need to be made, and Osiris is basically giving us the message. Those of us who've been through so much of the shifting and changing and growing, that we need to stand our ground, stay in our centers, stay as balanced and full of source energy and love and light and compassion and gratitude as we can. And then we really become a beacon for those And I want to say this is patriarchal energies. Because it's father, it doesn't mean a man, but it is meaning for me patriarchal, matriarchal energies. If you're a man, woman, or if the other person is man, woman, it doesn't matter. The patriarchal and the matriarchal energy are the old programmed ways of being. And Osiris, who I believe, if I'm not mistaken, was a twin actually, he's here to remind us that the patriarchal energy needs to come into alignment with the higher energies, okay? It needs to shift and change, and it's in the process of changing. The tracks that we saw guarantees that it's not really something that the person has to do. It's just that the universe is moving them along the track, and they pretty much have to stay on that track because because you've done so much work and you've created this incredible vibration that they, just by the nature of your connection, can feel and resonate with, and helps elevates them in consciousness so that they can make the shifts and changes that they need to make. So that's the message from Osiris. So anyways, that is the reading for the week of June 2nd. I really hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up, give it a like. If you haven't subscribed, I would love to have you as a subscriber, part of my subscribed family, if you will. And if you do want to participate in that live reading, go ahead and check below in the comment, the readings, the section below. I'll have information on that as to how you can enter the drawing. So anyways, I send you lots of love. Thanks for your time. And I look forward to doing your reading for you again next week. Namaste.